Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. We're back with more Billy pictures from when I was in college. So this page is documenting when we were doing the Collegiate Horsemen Association Club promotion at UGA. So at the beginning of the semester, all of the agricultural clubs got together to do a group promo, so anybody interested in that kind of field or has that kind of major could find some extracurriculars to be interested in. This year was the year I was president of the Horsemen's Association. There was also another Kelsey who was the vice president, and then my best friend Lacey was our treasurer. So this is a photo of the three of us. You can see I just put hearts over their faces just because I'm not sure they'll want to be on YouTube. But I do want to document this. And there's a guy who does like free photography for all the Georgia clubs. And so he was here that day taking photos and he snagged a couple pictures of Billy. So I made sure I got those printed out because he just looks super cute. We were next to the Dairy Club's table. And so they had this Got Milk banner and they were giving out stickers. So there's a little Got Milk sticker on Billy's coat. That lower photo is him just in front of their banner that says Got Milk because I thought it was funny. I'm starting my layers pretty simple here. With having this brick pattern in the photos, I really wanted to take that opportunity to use this pink brick paper as my background. I'm using a scrap of that globe print from the Cosmopolitan collection and a scrap of this marbly print I used earlier in the month. So lots of scraps getting used up and also using this brick pattern that's been in my stash for a while. I decided to gut a section of it that was going to be covered by the marble paper and use it to mat the photo of me and the other Kelsey and Lacey so that pattern can be within the photos as well. So I'm just using a mat for that, and then I'm going to mat it again in some white, and I'm going to mat both of these photos of Billy together on some white. So I want white around everything. I'm using my ground espresso distress oxide ink to ink everything. I did pretty good on remembering to ink everything on this page. I think there's only one embellishment that I wish I would have inked that I forgot about. Which you'll see later. I am getting another brown paper bag used up on this page. Those are always in my stash to use. I love them in textural layers, and I use this a lot when I pick mood boards that have a lot of warm textures, but I haven't used one of those mood boards in a while, and I had a couple of these brown paper bags in my stash when I made the kit, so I went ahead and threw them in. You guys already saw me use the big brown paper bag, so this is the polka dot brown paper bag I'm getting used up now. And I just love the juxtaposition with this kit with having these kind of shiny glam papers with some of the more textural, dingy stuff like the craft and the brown paper bags and stuff. It's just really fun to play with the different kind of textures. I'm not used to it, but I love it. So we're having fun this month with this very weird kit that I've put together. Um, I'm still out of white cardstock. I keep telling myself that while I'm out, I need to get some, and I keep forgetting. So we're just going to use computer paper for the white layers until I can get some white cardstock for myself. Again, inking that. And I'm going to have the two pictures of Billy matted on the brown paper bag, and then the photo of the three of us will be overlapped to that coming out to the right, which I think adds a kind of fun look. So just getting my last computer paper mat down, and then I'll ink that. And this is the bulk of the layers. The layers were really easy to come together on this one since I was using scraps. So after this, it's just figuring out what I want to do for embellishment. I know for sure I definitely want to try to use another one of those letterboard coffee cup pieces that I've been trying to use up this month. So I'm definitely will grab one of those. And the metallic on this page, we're back to rose gold. So I'm going to try and see if I can pull in a couple rose gold ephemera bits from my stash because those build up. I don't use rose gold a lot. I love rose gold. It's just not a metallic I really use a lot or that are part of the collections I use. So now that there's a lot of rose gold in this kit, I'm trying to use the ephemera that I've been saving for when I use rose gold. And again, I'm gutting a lot of the stuff that's covered, especially with the more muted pieces. This marble print I love. And I want to save that for some other layers on future pages. So you just saw me save that chunk. I'm going to get that glued down and then the brown paper bag and then my photos. And then I think we get to start playing with ephemera. I've noticed this month as I've done pages, each page I kind of sneak something else in from my stash. That's been in my stash for a really long time. I think I would focus more on the kit if I was determined to get through everything that I had. But as I am using these weird kind of things as layers, it's reminding me of other things that have been in my stash for a long time. So I'm giving myself free permission to pull any old stash in this month. And one of the things is some frames. I don't even know where they came from. It might be simple stories. I have no idea, but there's a couple like text frames that have been in my stash forever, and I'm gonna get one of them used up on this page, and I have 3 more after this that I may or may not throw into this kit to try to get used up. But I'm just happy I'm getting stuff used up from my stash this month. I know I've said it a million times, but it's true. Here's another scrap here, speaking of that I'm getting used up, which is the rose gold and white heart scrap that you guys saw me pull in the beginning of the month. I've actually used this twice now on 2 layouts this month. I think I'm using the rest of the scrap on this one, so that's just going to be my horizontal layer, just anchoring everything. I didn't want that one photo to feel like it was just floating off to the side, and visually just having this horizontal piece grounding everything makes that feeling go away that it's floating. So that's why I added that horizontal bit. I like that I add some white over there too, because I have this white matte print running down the left side of the page, but no really white over there to the right. So I like that heart scrap kind of pulls that white over here. And this is where I'm pulling stuff in from my stash. These craft tags have been in my stash for a really long time, and that text frame has been in my stash for a really long time. So I'm thinking those two with that little coffee cup creates a really sweet cluster. I'm also pulling in this little paper clip that's rose gold that says to do. This came in, I'm pretty sure, like a planner kit or something, but I'm not a planner girl. So I was hoping I'd use them at some point in scrapbooking. But because this day was very much checklist and getting stuff set up and things we needed to do for the club, I felt like it was appropriate on this page. So I'm creating another cluster up here. I'm getting another one of those little rose gold tabs used up that my mom gave me. I ended up just throwing those into this kit as well because the pinks and the rose gold go really good with a lot of the papers I'm using this month. So I think that's really sweet. And then I'm going to use another piece of the craft label in my last cluster, which is in the lower left, with the pink heart from the letterboard kit. So glad I'm getting 2 of those pieces used up on this page. But I decided I would cut that frame into 2 bits so I can have a scrap of it peeking out from this other cluster as well. And I like the balance that creates and the extra layer I get. I just love being able to cut frames and use them like this because I feel like you get twice the product from one piece, because usually they're tucked under things anyways. So I'm just trying to get all of that situated. The thing I forgot to ink was these craft labels. I think would have looked really nice inked, and I forgot about them until they were glued down under multiple things. So those didn't get inked, but it's okay. I'm gluing them down now, getting the frame down, and then again I will use my Tombow Mono Multi to glue down the letterboard pieces, just because that shiny plastic, I'm not sure how other glue will hold, but I know the Tombow Mono Multi will. Sponsor me, please. I don't even know, are they still a thing? I haven't had to buy glue from them in forever, but Tombow's around forever. They'll be around forever. We don't have to worry about that. They're like the scrapbook glue masters. But I feel like I mentioned them a lot, but I feel like if I don't mention what glue I'm using, I'm going to get questions. Love that glue. So getting the frame down, just checking to see what I've glued down and what I haven't glued down this tab yet. So I'm going to go back and get that stuck down really quick. I just want it to go slightly under that paper clip. So I'm just going to shift a couple things. I do want another layer up there by the label. I'm not quite sure what yet. But while I'm thinking about it, there's a hole in the frame where they had some blue twine. I don't want to use the blue twine. And then the hole was too tiny for me to thread something else through other than another twine. But I had a scrap of this fuzzy trim left, so I just decided to loop that around the hole so it covered the hole and added that fuzzy texture. I love that fuzzy trim. It's such a random thing on all these layouts, but I I can't help myself. I love them. So that one is finally used up. I don't think I've used any of the other trim in my kit yet, but that skinny white fuzzy trim is officially used. And this is where I decide I want a title. I don't know if I want a title, but I know I need to do some journaling, and I at least want to mention that this is Lacey and Kelsey, even though I feel like I'll always remember them. I want them labeled in the photo just so anyone flipping through will know who the people I'm with are, which is a little confusing since there's two Kelseys, but I'm hoping it'll be obvious that there's three people and they are looking through my book, so they should know who I am. So hopefully the other two people they'll get is Lacey and Kelsey. But I'm using the rose gold tile stickers for that. I love the extra pop of rose gold, and I feel like that helps label that photo, so I don't need to mention that in my journaling. But I will go through at the very bottom of the page. I'll do a little bit of journaling that just says setting up a horseman's booth for the ag clubs on campus. But it was still bothering me. I wanted an extra layer up there by the tab. So going to one of my new things that I feel like I'm always doing when I need a little extra something, and that's add a notebook edge punch to the layers. I feel like when I did my live, that's kind of what everyone suggested as a final touch when something was missing, and it just always worked. So again, I just pulled in a scrap of white to do the notebook edge punch. I'm inking that in that ink, and I'm just going to tuck that along the top of that photo, and I love the way that looks. And I just feel like the notebook edge punch with the brown bag, it works for me, and I just really like it. So I keep having to trim this piece to get it to tuck down because I have different things glued down already. I'm not trying to pull stuff back up, but now that layer's down, I'm doing the journaling, which I just read. And then as my finishing touch, I will go in with the freckled fawn puffy hearts. There are not any hearts that really match this pink. But I feel like on this one, I'm more okay using a purpley pink because a lot of the bricks in these photos are more in the purpley tone. So I'm just going to add a couple to the coffee cup cluster, the to-do paperclip cluster, and one down by the other heart, just so that heart has a friend. And then I think we're almost done. So this one is pretty simple, I feel like, but I'm just loving all the textures and all the things from the stash that I got pulled in on this one. It just makes me happy. It did bother me that there was nothing written in that tab. I could have done the date or something, but I just decided to pull in some Tim Holtz word stickers because that's another thing that gets forgotten in my stash. And I decided to just use one that said friends because this was a club day, and my club day is the only time I really got to see my friends because I'm such an introvert that if I'm not in class or doing stuff with the club, I would be in my room studying by myself. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.